All right, let's dive into this whole Bradley Beal situation because it's been heating up nonstop. And honestly, there's so much going on that it deserves a thorough breakdown. So here's the deal. We were initially told that within 24 to 48 hours, we'd have clarity on where Bradley Beal was headed. The expectation was that he was weighing his options, trying to figure out the best fit for his next move. But now the narrative is shifting, and a lot of chatter is pointing towards the Los Angeles Clippers being his destination. There are whispers everywhere that the Clippers made a significant roster move, clearing out Norman Powell, and this might be tied directly to landing Beal. It's almost as if they knew something the rest of us didn't, which is why Powell was let go. Now, when you look at what the Clippers are trying to build, it starts to make sense. They're aiming to assemble a powerhouse lineup that revolves around Chris Paul and Bradley Beal, mixing those two with their existing core to create a formidable team. Just imagine the starting five: James Harden, Bradley Beal, Kawhi, Leonard John, Collins, and Ivica Zubac. That's a lineup with size, scoring, defense, and versatility in spades. Honestly, it's borderline terrifying from a competitive standpoint. Harden and Beal provide offensive firepower. Kawhi brings lockdown defense and experience. Collins offers athleticism and shooting, and Zubac anchors the paint with his presence. It's a group that could cause serious problems for any opponent. Even their bench is no joke. Chris Paul, who can still run the floor and dictate the pace, adds leadership and playmaking off the bench. Then you've got Chris Dunn, Nicholas Batum, and Brook Lopez, all of whom bring different skill sets and can stretch the rotation deep. When you have a roster that's 10 to 11 players deep with that kind of talent, it's tough to find a weakness. Sure, I'm probably forgetting a few names, but the overall picture is clear. The Clippers are building a team that's loaded on both ends and has the depth to survive injuries and the grind of a long season. But here's where things get interesting. Initially, the reports about trading Norman Powell suggested that the Clippers were simply trying to manage their payroll. Powell was seeking a contract that the team didn't want to commit to, so they moved him to get some value rather than lose him for nothing. John Collins, by comparison, is expected to come in at a cheaper rate, and in my opinion, he's a better fit for the Clippers' style. While there have been concerns about scoring consistency on the team, a healthy Kawhi Leonard can carry a lot of the offensive load. John Collins adds size and shooting, giving the Clippers a small ball center option. That meshes well with their roster. If I were the Clippers front office, choosing John Collins over Norman Powell makes perfect sense. Now, that doesn't automatically mean they made the move specifically to get Bradley Beal, even though that's the storyline catching fire right now. It's possible they pulled the trigger on the Collins deal for the reasons initially reported: managing, contracts, and salaries. And if Beal comes along as a bonus, so be it. It's like they were hedging their bets. If they can land Beal, great. If not, they still improve the team with Collins. From Beal's perspective, the Clippers are probably a more logical destination than the Lakers, as painful as that might be to Lakers fans. The question for Beal is about his role and minutes. Does he start on the Lakers? He should, but the reality is that Austin Reeves has cemented himself as a starter, and the Lakers are unlikely to play a trio of Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and Bradley Beal as their primary scorers. That would be a disaster in terms of chemistry and playing time distribution. Someone's going to come off the bench, and with Reeves being a key part of the Lakers' future, they're not going to bench him to accommodate Beal. Reeves is on track for a new contract and is expected to be a core player for years. This creates a tricky situation for the Lakers. If they want Beal, they might have to trade Reeves to clear space, either in terms of minutes or roster spots. Otherwise, there's a risk of upsetting Reeves, who could feel undervalued and potentially leave in free agency, leaving the Lakers empty-handed. So if Beal wants meaningful playing time and a starring role, the Clippers may offer that opportunity more readily than the Lakers. And if I were in Beal's shoes, I'd be seriously weighing that. Making the same money regardless, would you want to come off the bench on the Lakers or start on the Clippers and be in the mix for a championship? The Clippers' plan, at least on paper, seems to give Beal a chance to shine alongside elite players while competing at the highest level. That's a compelling proposition. But here's the catch. Despite all the buzz and the growing confidence that Beal is heading to LA's other team, nothing has happened yet. If the Clippers moved with the expectation that Beal was coming and Beal has made his mind up, why is the deal not done? We know the Phoenix Suns are ready to buy out Beal's contract, and yet he's still not officially a Clipper. Think about the other teams on Beal's list. The Warriors, the Bucks, the Clippers, and the Lakers. All except the Lakers could sign him immediately. The Lakers are the only team that can't officially add him right now because of their salary. The cap situation. So if Beal truly wants to go anywhere else, he could be there already. This raises the possibility that Beal is waiting on the Lakers to clear salary space and roster spots to sign him. The Lakers are reportedly working on a consolidation trade to free up a biannual exception and create the roster flexibility necessary to bring Beal on board. This process could take some time, and Beal might be playing the waiting game, holding out for his preferred destination rather than jumping immediately to the Clippers or anyone else. It's a complicated dance, but it shows how much he wants to be a Laker. So if Beal's preferred destination is the Lakers and he's willing to wait for them to sort their roster issues, that explains the delay. Meanwhile, the Clippers could swoop in at any moment if Beal decided to sign elsewhere. But the confidence remains that this is all about Los Angeles, specifically the Lakers. For now, the drama continues. We're stuck in this limbo where everyone's speculating trades have been made that seem to be positioning for Beal, but the official move is still in the air. Beal's future remains one of the biggest stories in the NBA right now, with implications for the balance of power in the Western Conference and the championship race overall. It's a fascinating situation because it's not just about talent, it's about fit contracts, timing, and strategy. Beal has to consider playing time team culture and his role. The Lakers have the allure of legacy and market, but the Clippers offer a clearer path to a starring role and championship contention. Both options come with pros and cons, and a waiting game reflects the complexity behind every big NBA move. As the hours tick by, fans are left wondering, will Beal stay patient and join the Lakers once the roster is cleared, or will the Clippers swoop in and finalize the deal, making all these rumors a reality? Either way, this saga is far from over, and the ripple effects will be felt across the league no matter where Bradley Beal lands. Alright, so let's keep going deeper into this whole Bradley Beal situation, because as much as people think it's just about basketball, this goes beyond the court. It's about timing, leverage, optics, and perception. We're watching a chess match happen in slow motion, with teams making subtle moves to position themselves while the rest of us try to piece together what's really going on behind the scenes. Now let's talk about Bradley Beal's camp. These decisions aren't made in a vacuum, and Beal isn't operating alone. His representatives have long been known to play things carefully. Every step Beal takes is calculated. He's not the kind of player to chase the spotlight aimlessly or make reactive choices. You don't wait this long in your career to force your way out of Washington just to jump into a bad situation. He's been patient, loyal, and perhaps to a fault. But now that he finally has the freedom to choose, it makes sense that he's playing it safe and slow. He wants to make sure he lands somewhere he can win, contribute meaningfully, and protect his legacy. But here's where things get a little murkier. People close to the league are starting to whisper that Beal's hesitation might not just be about basketball, it might be about narrative. Think about it. If he signs too fast with the Clippers, especially right after they make moves like trading, Powell, it'll look like he had this lined up from the start. That could rub people the wrong way. Maybe even raise eyebrows at the league office. It might look like tampering, or at the very least like something shady was going on under the radar. But if he waits just long enough, lets the Lakers try to make a move, lets other teams throw their offers out there, then he can still say he explored everything before settling. It's all about optics. You can't underestimate how important perception is to players and their agents in today's NBA. Meanwhile, the Clippers aren't just waiting around. They're doing everything in their power to show Beal they're serious. They cleared salary. They moved off Powell, who was a fan favorite. They've reportedly had internal conversations about reshuffling minutes to create a clear lane for Beal to step in and contribute immediately. They're not promising him the world, but they're letting him know that if he joins, he won't just be another piece. He'll be a difference maker. But you know what? It still might not be enough. Because for all the noise around the Clippers, Beal's silence is deafening. Every hour that passes without a signature makes you think twice. If this was a done deal, why hasn't it happened? Why haven't we gotten the tweet, the Woj bomb, the press release? We've seen players announce these things in less time than it takes to finish a dinner. So what's really going on? Let's go back to the Lakers. They're the wild card here. Everyone knows their cap situation is tight, but the rumors won't die. That tells you something. It tells you there's a belief, whether real or just, in Beal's camp, that the Lakers can make it work. And that's not just blind hope. The Lakers front office has pulled off the impossible before. They cleared space for LeBron. They moved heaven and earth for Anthony Davis. So if they really want Beal, and Beal really wants them, they'll find a way. The question is whether they're willing to risk their long-term flexibility to make it happen. There's also the Austin Reeves factor again. You can't mention Beal without acknowledging the elephant in the room. Reeves is a rising star beloved by the fan base and, more importantly, trusted by the coaching staff. He's also under a favorable contract, right? Now, which makes him valuable. If the Lakers want to keep him, that complicates their ability to bring in Beal without moving other pieces. You can't have everyone. That's just the reality of the salary cap. So something's got to give. Maybe that's why Beal is holding out. Maybe he's giving the Lakers time to see if they can find a taker for D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, or Gabe Vincent. Those contracts aren't exactly impossible to move, especially if teams are willing to take back salary in exchange for picks or young talent. But again, it takes time. And Beal may be watching closely to see if they can pull the trigger on something meaningful. What's interesting is how public all this has become. Normally, when a player is a free agent or approaching a buyout, things move quietly. This has not been that. We're seeing every step play out in the open, which tells you either the teams involved are leaking things to build pressure, or Beal's camp is doing it to create urgency. Either way, it's become a spectacle, and in some ways that helps Beal. It gives him leverage. The more people talk, the more fans clamor, the more likely it is that a team gets desperate and makes a move they might have hesitated on otherwise. It's also important to think about the Warriors and Bucks. They were both mentioned early on as potential suitors, and each has its own pitch. The Warriors could offer the chance to play next to Stephen Curry and chase a title in a system built around movement and shooting. But they also have Klay Thompson to deal with, and integrating Beal into that rotation would take some serious juggling. The Bucks, on the other hand, offer a shot at a title with Giannis, but their financial situation is a mess. They don't have the flexibility, and their roster already has major holes, especially if Chris Middleton can't stay healthy. Beal would help, sure, but would he be enough to turn that team into a juggernaut again? Probably not without more help. So now we're at this point where every team involved has shown its hand to some extent. The Clippers made moves. The Lakers are quietly maneuvering. The Warriors and Bucks have floated interest, but nothing serious seems to be happening. Beal's buyout is on the table. And yet we're all still here waiting. And let's not forget about Beal himself as a player. He's not just some veteran ring chaser looking for a ride to a title. He's still in his prime. He averaged over 20 points a game in a tough situation last year. He's a bucket, plain and simple. He's also durable, smart, and coachable. He's not going to blow up your locker room. He's not going to demand the ball every play. But he needs the right fit. He needs to go somewhere he can contribute without getting buried. And for that reason alone, the Lakers make sense. As big as the Clippers are on paper, their rotations can get messy. They have a history of injuries and unpredictability. The Lakers, with their star power and structure, might offer Beal a clearer path. He wouldn't have to carry the offense. LeBron and AD do that, but he'd be a perfect third option who can take over when needed. And if Reeves is eventually moved, that role becomes even bigger. So here we are, days deep into the saga, and there's still no resolution. Just layers and layers of speculation. Some fans are getting tired. Others are refreshing their feeds every 5 minutes. But those paying close attention know that something is brewing. Whether Beal lands with the Clippers, the Lakers, or pulls a surprise move, the fallout is going to be huge. This isn't just about one guy switching teams. It's about what his decision means for the entire Western Conference. Because wherever he lands, it's going to shake things up. And don't rule out the possibility that Beal drags this out a little longer. He doesn't have to rush. He has the luxury of time, and he's earned it. Maybe he wants to wait until after Summer League. Maybe he wants to see how other teams move before deciding. Maybe he's watching what happens with other trades around the league, waiting for that final puzzle piece to fall into place. Whatever happens, one thing is clear. Bradley Beal holds the cards. He's in control of this situation, and every team knows it. That's rare in the NBA, especially for a guy who's coming off a down year by his standards. But Beal has managed to turn the narrative back in his favor. Now all that's left is the decision. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. Whispers are growing louder in the NBA circles as DEANTHONY Melton, the tenacious guard known for his defensive prowess, is rumored to be closing in on a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Although nothing has been officially confirmed, sources suggest that Melton is poised to join the Lakers roster, bringing with him an intense defensive mindset that could prove crucial for the team's ambitions this season. Melton has earned a reputation as one of the league's most relentless perimeter defenders. His ability to lock down opposing guards and create turnovers has made him a coveted asset for teams looking to bolster their defense. The Lakers, long known for their star-studded lineup, appear to be seeking exactly that kind of defensive grit to complement their offensive firepower. With this potential signing, Los Angeles might be signaling a shift toward a more balanced approach, aiming to strengthen their backcourt defense and tighten up their overall team defense. The buzz around Melton's move to LA is creating quite the stir among fans and analysts alike. Many believe that his defensive intensity could be the missing piece for the Lakers, who have struggled at times to contain aggressive opposing guards. Melton's knack for disrupting plays and his high basketball IQ could allow him to fit seamlessly into the Lakers system, particularly on the defensive end where they need more consistency. Of course, while the deal remains speculative for now, the possibility of Melton donning the purple and gold jersey excites Lakers supporters. His energy on the court and commitment to defense align well with the team's goals. Additionally, Melton's experience in high-pressure situations might help the Lakers in crucial moments throughout the season and playoffs. If this rumor holds true, Melton's arrival could mark a significant step for the Lakers as they look to contend at the highest level. It's a move that could disrupt the balance of power in the Western Conference, making LA a tougher opponent to break down. Fans will be watching closely as the Lakers reportedly work behind the scenes to finalize what could be one of the most impactful defensive additions of the offseason. For now, all eyes remain on the Lakers front office and Melton himself, waiting for an official announcement that could confirm this intriguing chapter. Until then, the NBA community is abuzz with speculation about how this potential signing might transform the Lakers' defensive identity and influence their quest for another championship. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news, subscribe to our channel, and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.